Welcome back to Peru, guys. If you've been following our adventures, you know that we've been super excited to get to the mountains in the country, and we finally made it. So welcome to Arequipa, guys.
Check out this view.
We just woke up to this beautiful view. We see all three volcanoes from our Airbnb, which is absolutely amazing. We're a bit outside of the city, but it was totally worth it for these views.
Our number one reason for coming here is to hike the Colca Canyon. We've been dying to get into some multi-day hikes here in Peru, and this is going to be our very first one. Second deepest canyon in the world, so we're super excited for that. That's going to be in another separate video a little bit later. In this video we're going to be exploring the historic center of the city and some of the other cool activities that you can do in the area. Yeah, let's go and have an explore.
Arequipa is the second most populated city in Peru and sits up in the Andes at a height of about 2,300 meters above sea level. It is often referred to as the White City due to the light volcanic rock used to make a large number of its buildings. Arequipa's architecture is stunning, and combined with its beautiful surroundings and delicious food, it wasn't long before we fell in love with the city.
We've come down to the historic center of Arequipa this morning.
If you didn't know, just like Lima, Arequipa's historic center has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2000, and we can definitely see why. It's gorgeous. Like the Plaza de Armas is probably...
It's like the nicest Plaza de Armas we've seen in Latin America.
It's huge, but it's not like overwhelmingly big like in Mexico City. It's really gorgeous here, so we can't wait to show you all these beautiful buildings and places.
And it is also one of the country's food capitals, so we're very excited to try some of the food here as well, and we'll definitely be doing that a little later in the video.
So speaking of food, we heard that one thing you have to try here in Arequipa is called queso jalado, which is basically translates as cheese ice cream, but it actually doesn't have cheese in it, so don't be fooled by the name. Let's try this. If it doesn't have cheese, I wonder what it's gonna taste like. Okay, it's really nice. It tastes just like vanilla ice cream. It's very creamy. I like it, especially with the cinnamon on top. I think it's safe to say that we've seen our fair share of mummies and bones since we arrived to Peru, and we're actually not done yet. We have another place that we want to check out today here in Arequipa.
We're going to head to a museum where we're going to learn a little bit more about how human sacrifice played a bigger part in the Inca culture, and this museum is supposed to house one of the best preserved mummies in the entire world.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, she is called Juanita, and if she's anywhere near as intact as some of the mummies we saw in Nazca, then it's definitely going to be something pretty chilling to see. Just left the museum where we saw Juanita the mummy. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to take any photos or video footage in there.
Which is understandable, of course. It's again something like you have to take photos with your own pair of eyes.
Exactly. It wasn't a hugely different from the mummies we saw in Nazca that we managed to film for you guys. It's a very, very cool, very unique thing to see.
And just the story and what happened to her exactly. Like they even could identify what she ate, what was her last meal, and things like that. It was very interesting.
She's perfectly preserved. We are working on a little bit of an appetite, so we're going to go and try and find the big market here. It's called the San Camilo Market. We've been told it's just a place to go anyway, even if you're not going to eat there, just to see it. We've been to many markets in Mexico, so we've definitely had our fair share of markets in Mexico. It'll be interesting to see how they compare here. So far, it's a lot like the one in Guadalajara. A lot of different stuff going on. And the one thing we noticed, the difference between Mexico and Peru in the market, is that here they don't seem to like try and get you to buy things.
Yeah, well, in Mexico, a lot of the time they were shouting about they selling their products and stuff. Whereas here it's a bit more chilled in that sense. But it's beautiful, especially that fruit aisle in the middle.
Never seen so much fruit in my life.
Oh, it's so amazing, so colorful.
Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything we wanted to eat at the market, so we browsed for some souvenirs before heading out to find a vegan menu del dia. These set menus are huge at lunchtime in South America and are some of the cheapest and most delicious 3-course meals you will ever eat, with prices starting around 10 soles.
Got a little terrace where you can sit out. I mean, it's not the best view, but it's cute.
We left the market. Unfortunately, the camera died like while we were in there, so we've come to this nice vegan restaurant for lunch. But we did manage to buy some really cool things that were a lot cheaper than if you would have bought them in like a touristy centre, like the centre of Cusco or Arequipa or somewhere. So definitely worth going to the market. I got myself a cool Peruvian hat.
Yeah, he wanted one a long time ago. I said he's not going to leave Peru without a hat like that.
And it was only 10 soles. Like, I've seen these going for about 50 soles in shops around Arequipa.
Okay, so we don't know how real it is, but...
I'm not sure if it's real alpaca wool, but it feels nice and soft.
And I've been wanting to buy a keyring, like a llama keyring, for the longest time. So finally I found one. It was only $2.15, whereas like other places they sell them for $5 or even more. So definitely a good deal. It's so cute. We've also been eyeing these little desserts. They look so yummy.
They're like macaroons, no?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I think they're filled with like dulce de leche, which is like condensed milk and sweetened. But again, only like £3 for both of them.
Can't wait to try them.
Definitely worth checking out the markets if you're in the city rather than going to like the well-known shops or whatever.
It's good for souvenirs.
It's good for the people as well, like to support the local people instead of like the big chain shops. A real sort of Chinese influence on the cooking here. Like there's a lot of oriental influences in the food here, from like these oriental rices. Vegan chicken we've got is like sweet and sour chicken. Now we're not exactly sure why it's the case, but maybe it's because I think China is one of the main traders with Peru, so maybe there's an influence coming from that.
Yeah, I need to look it up online.
Either way, like it's really nice. The food here is amazing in Peru. We've really been enjoying it.
After lunch, we headed over to the Santa Catalina Monastery, which is easily one of the most popular destinations in Arequipa. Founded in 1579 and occupying an area of 20,000 square meters right in the heart of the historic center, it's a sprawling labyrinth of beautiful, colorful streets and courtyards. The noise of the city disappears, and you can spend hours walking around the monastery with something even more beautiful popping up around every corner.
I still feel like we're in Morocco's Blue City. No?
Very similar.
It's very beautiful.
It feels like a city within a city.
Yeah, they have like streets named.
Yeah, they would have been completely isolated in here, the nuns, like no contact with the outside world at all, but they had everything they needed just right here in the city. Yeah, we've been to a lot of like different monasteries and things, and definitely the biggest and probably one of the most colourful, one of the most impressive we've been to for sure. It's really
worth the entry, which is actually $40 per person.
It's,
but you get what you pay for because it's massive.
It's gorgeous. So we've now come a short distance out of the city centre to the district of San Lazaro, which is Arequipa's oldest neighbourhood and quite possibly its most beautiful. And here in San Lazaro you can also really clearly see why Arequipa gets the nickname the White City, because every building around here is constructed from the volcanic rock called Silla, which is mined from the volcanoes all around this area that surround the city. And here in San Lazaro you can see that everywhere you look. It's also a lot quieter than the centre, so it's much better if you want to take a lot of cool photographs.
Very close to the San Lazaro district is Mundo Alpaca, a small shop, museum and farmyard all rolled into one. Here we learned about the different species of camelid in South America and how their wool is turned into the beautiful jumpers we've seen in all the shops. You can then head to the shop itself and buy some really beautiful Peruvian souvenirs, although it will be a bit more expensive than buying them from the market.
They also have a small farmyard where we got up close and personal with some adorable alpacas. Finally, to end a day of exploring, we headed over the Rio Chile to the Yanahuara district, where you can get a great view of the city and its volcanoes on a clear day. Unfortunately, we were not there on a clear day, but we were fortunate enough to get some amazing views of the sunset from our apartment in the city. Thanks for watching and see you on the next adventure.